Alright, welcome back to another breakdown on the art of mixing. We are going to be looking at a key, one key moment in the first session mix. I'm gonna start this intro again. Welcome to the art of mixing. Let's break down a key, you can call it essentially a mashup of creating a new verse within one song, sort of. You're finishing one, but you're blending in another song, but it's acting almost as its own verse. So you're creating a mashup between the two songs, but you're seamlessly blending the two together. So the chorus, say, of one is playing, and then you're creating the verse for another one, from the other one to come in and act like it's the verse of the first song. Pretty sure I just confused you completely there. If I didn't, we're on the same page. Let's have a look at what I'm talking about. As always, 3, 2, 1, and action! That's how I like to do my syncing. Sound on.
To love and know there'll be nothing left for me to you. Think of me and more, let me hold your hand. I don't want to face the world in tears. Please think again, I'm on my knees. Sing that song to me, no reason to
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm still here with it. Let's go from the start. 3 key things that we need to address here. One is having understanding of harmonic mixing. If you don't know what that is, I highly recommend you go and look at that. That's a key thing. And I've talked about that in the Underdog blog for some of my previous mixes. Harmonic mixing is very, very important. At the basis, you are looking for songs that match musically together, fundamentally. Secondly, developing a key ear for which songs are going to go well together. Yes, it's fantastic that Rekordbox, Serato, I'm not familiar with Serato, but I know Rekordbox has the ability to show you with the keys of the songs, which ones go well together. Fantastic. But for me, what it doesn't show is the musical content of the piece you're working with. Is it gonna work well with what you're trying to do? That is very important. Just give me one. I'm gonna turn off this energy saving thing so the screen doesn't turn off. That doesn't become that isn't represented in the software. So you have to have a good ear for knowing, okay, is this gonna work well with this? And from coming from being from a musical background, and starting playing guitar and being musically trained in that for years, you develop an ear for the way to improvise, the way songs are structured, the way they're recorded, and all this helps in understanding the fundamentals of the piece that you're working with, of the melody behind it. When you're looking at something like this, you want to have an understanding of the not necessarily the theory behind the music, but do they share similar musical content together? And what I mean by that is, are the melodies similar? Are the keys similar? Is the tempo similar? Is the vibe similar? Is it a similar energy? Is the beat in the ballpark? Are we looking at a 2/4 structure? Are we looking where the hi-hats? These are things that automatically should come to you from having practice in the musical side of things. And this is why I really encourage all of you to pick up an instrument, whether that's vocally or piano or the guitar or the drums, something that will give you a much more rounded understanding of that particular instrument, how it works within music. That's very, very important. And you will start pushing your viewpoint from this is technology and this is 4 beats, this is 2 beats, to a more musical approach where you are approaching things from a musician's perspective, and you're treating the gear, you're treating the technology as an extension of your art, extension of who you are. You're treating it like the guitar. You're using the vinyl bends as the bends on the guitar. You're playing a beautiful melody on the piano, and you're doing that with the effects, with the beat jumps, with the shimmer on the decks. When you're able to transition through that mindset, then you're able to see correlations between pieces of music, and you can say, okay, I like this chorus, but I can use the verse of this other one, and I can blend them together. So that to me is very important. So harmonic mixing, then also just you need having the ear training. Thirdly, practice. It's about putting it together and just doing it, then getting another set together, doing it, getting another one, doing it, then another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. The more you do it, you just automatically get a vibe of, okay, yep, that works well together. That works well together. Okay, now that I reckon that will go well together. This that will go well together. There, you start picking up similarities, start picking up patterns. You start getting the idea of how to put things together, and you start trusting yourself over what the software is telling, over what the key is saying. You start trusting your ears. You start trusting yourself musically, and then you're able to approach something like this. So we're going from the standpoint of we're adding in some effects, we're adding in some something to start blurring things, something to make the listener's ear and the audience's ear focus on something else. Now we're adding in effects, building up and creating movement. So now we're having this the tail end of all these effects we've added in, and we're able then to blend in the next piece with less notice. If you do it dry, then it's going to be very easy to pick up. So your effects, the blending of different effects together is your friend here. But just don't overdo it. It's very easy to overdo. You want to be subtle. You don't want to be too aggressive. Then as the tail end finishes, we're adding these effects, reverbs, delays, whatever you like. When you release them, we as the tail is coming is happening, we bring in the next piece.
There'll be nothing left.
The reason I'm moving the turn on the vinyl, however you like to for however you like to approach, the naming of you can call them you can whatever name you like to put on it. We're moving it so then we can get the tracks aligned together electronically. At the moment we're using a visual cue, so we can't hear it until it comes in. So you have to trust the visual cue of lining it up to where it needs to be, so it obviously isn't out of the beat.
Me to you, think of me and burn. Let me hold your hand.
Now again, let the effects settle, and we're bringing back the effects. We've got the next song, the transition that we want to create, or the blend that we want to create for this.
I don't want to face the world in tears. Please think again, I'm on my knees.
And then we're slowly bringing in. So we've added those effects again, just so the audience doesn't focus so much on what's happening. They still think it's the chorus of the first song, which is adding some effects in. No one's noticing what's happening. We continue to build up.
Sing that song to me.
Now we're adding both songs, we're adding effects into both. We're going to blend, merge the two together, so like they were there originally. That's the goal. So that no one notices anything, and it's almost like a continuation of the piece. Now it's one of my favorite settings on the decks. You can change it in the laptop and also without the laptop. The settings are slightly different when you use the USB compared to when you have the laptop in. And what you can do is, instead of when you hit the play button, you can have it sort of slowly cut. And it's something I don't see being used a lot. It is a little more musical, and it can be used very, very creatively. Like here, you can just cut it out, and it's a nice sort of little almost vinyl break. Well, yeah, technically it is a vinyl break. It's nice. It's a nice musical way of just stopping the piece, and it sort of recreates that old school vinyl stop. And it works well when you're wanting to do sort of these kind of blends together, just so it gives the audience a bit of a sort of indication. Okay, we've moved on to the next one. But it's not a very sort of like we've moved on to the next one. It's very much like and audience is like, what's happening now? It's sort of a continuation. It's the next song, which I think is cool. I think it's something different, and I think it should be not abused. It shouldn't be overused, but definitely can be it can be used a little more. So one approach here is this adding effects in the tail. Adding a lot of effect and then cutting it, you can create that tail very quickly and forcefully. And that's what we're doing here. So we've approached this blend into this sort of verse section of what we want to do, and we've added a lot of the effect, but then we've cut it quickly, and then all that tail just comes in of the effect, and then we can blend the two pieces together, and we've moved on. We've cut the first one, we've given a little bit of acknowledgement that that one's done, and we moved on to the next one. Another cool thing is that this piece does have even a little bit of those effects, the vinyl sort of effects, and I didn't plan for that. That just happened spontaneously like that. And those moments are really nice when you sort of have that effect already once, and then you're blending into the next one that has a bit of that sort of effects. It makes the two feel intertwined. It connects the two pieces musically well together, and you can create a nice mashup. Mashups don't have to be just some stupid vocal over an instrumental song, and then you call that a mashup, and you do it in your computer, and then you just press play. That to me is not a mashup. That's just, I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna get into it. When you do something like this, you can create something live on the spot that is much more genuine and authentic than doing something on the computer for 5 hours. And you can find creative ways and be a lot more versatile in the mashups that you can create live on the spot. And this is a good example of that, I feel. You're able to take the chorus of one and blend in another piece and make it seem like a continuation of the one song. And by doing this, you're not only giving the audience something that's unique for that moment, you're also taking the audience on the journey with you. And this is something you hear me repeat over and over again about taking the audience on a journey with you. It's not just one piece, next piece, next piece, next piece, and drop, 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 drop. It's about, maybe take the chorus, this one, let's take the verse, let's see it, put them together, let's mash them together, let's take this one, let's put this one, perhaps the break of this one, let's take the hi-hats of this one, let's take the vocal from this one. And then you can start creating these on the fly sort of mashes, transitions. At the heart of this is just 2 tracks playing, but where the complexity comes in is understanding these core fundamentals of the music, and seeing if they're harmonically going to work well together. Having the ear for the drum pattern, the melodic content of the piece. Are the two going to work together? And that just comes to practice, trying them out and seeing, okay, how's that going to work with this one? How's that going to work with this other one I want to put in? And then through that, you're able to create a nice moment you're able to create a nice moment there. Let me just stop this. And you're able to work with more subtle pieces of music that don't necessarily have a super hard drop, but are melodic in their nature. Yeah, there you go. It's really a beautiful technique, if you will. I don't like calling it a technique, but it's a beautiful way to approach mixing, and it's something I encourage you, like as always, to give a shot in your mixes, and use the effects at your disposal. Just be careful not to overdo them. That would be the sort of key takeaway when approaching something like this. there you go. I hope you enjoy this breakdown. I'll catch you on the next one. Alright, see ya. Oh, I hope you like my new hat. I got it as a present for myself. And yeah, the funny thing was was searching for one when I went overseas in Italy, and I couldn't find one at all that I liked. I'm not kidding. So I had to come back to Melbourne, and we found the one that I liked. I guess it was just fate. It wasn't my time yet to get the fedora that I was looking for. But anyway, I hope you guys like it. I really like it. And I'll see you on the next one.